This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2, Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Thursday, January 2nd. I'm here with Brandon and Stephanie.
Who's this person?
Who is that?
I don't know. It might just be a very British import.
Okay. You just got imported from.
Okay. I did.
From across the pond.
I feel like I've been gone forever, but it's good to be back.
It's good to be back.
It is.
And Erica Cobb is still on vacation.
She's on vacation.
So that must be nice too.
Life.
Absolutely. We miss you. All right, guys, let's jump right in with my favorite story of the new year so far. Will 2020 be the year of Justin Bieber? The global superstar is dropping a new song, Yummy, tomorrow, if you didn't know. He's also got a North American tour, which starts in May, and a new 10-part docuseries on YouTube that premieres on January 27th. Let's take a look.
I'm excited, just nervous a little bit. This album is different because of where I'm at in my life.
No one's ever grown up in the history of humanity like Justin Bieber.
There's a lot of pressure that I think people don't see.
I can never remake this album. It's gotta be perfect.
Oh, table. Weird.
Now, in all honesty, I'm really excited about this. I'm a huge Justin Bieber fan. I'm not even joking around. I liked him when he did Never Say Never, that movie. I thought it was very inspirational to me. And I just like the way he turned his life around, and I want to see that all in that docuseries.
Yeah, because a lot of fans like you are, I mean, he hasn't come out with music in, 4 years in terms of an album. And we get to see the resurgence of the new Justin Bieber. He's grown up now. Like Scooter Braun said in there, like, there's no artist that's really been under the microscope throughout their lives like he has. So I look at it as a situation where these artists, they're giving you a 360 look into their life. And with a documentary or docu-series like this, you can control what's being put out. Right. Because remember, he got married at a courthouse and then had a private ceremony. We saw some pictures, but it was through Kylie Jenner's Snapchat. Now you get to okay the video that's coming out. So plus you got 2020, Gaga's coming out with an album, Katy Perry, Selena Gomez. So this right here brings your fans back in, which ultimately brings in the money.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it definitely will bring in the money, that's for sure. And he's also got his new tour coming out, which is why I think he's obviously doing this. But I think when you look at other celebrities, so you mentioned Lady Gaga, she had her documentary, which is on Netflix, and Beyonce had that really beautiful, in-depth, and very private, even before Homecoming,
even before that.
She did like the most beautiful documentary on her life and about, you know, how she's got to the point where she's at. And I think that's what fans just want to see. They want to see the real person, because we see like the filtered and very glamorized version on Instagram, and I actually think that Justin's one of the very few celebs that doesn't always do that. Like, he just put his house for sale up on Instagram and was like, hey, anyone want to buy my house? Like, he's very real in that respect, and I look forward to seeing this because I think we've seen sometimes the rise and fall of him, and it's going to be a really interesting story because he's had fights with the paparazzi, he's turned to Christianity, he's obviously married
He canceled the rest of his last tour.
I think it's going to be, honestly, a very eye-opening and interesting watch.
Yeah, I write my goals down for the new year, and at the top of the celebrities I want to interview is Justin Bieber.
That's cool.
And he's coming here to Denver.
Put it out there.
It's
coming here to Denver. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, speaking of eye-opening documentaries like we were just talking about, Surviving R. Kelly Part 2 debuts tonight on Lifetime. It shows what happened since Part 1 aired last January, and R. Kelly is still in jail on a long list of charges, but he denies all the allegations still. One of his alleged victims, Faith Rogers, was on CBS this morning talking about what she hopes happened to R. Kelly.
He needs to go to jail forever. There needs to be no getting out, no anything. I feel like it hasn't just been me, so if you want to just talk about the people in the documentary, let's talk about the people that weren't in the documentary. It's a track record. So even if it's not justice for me, for the next person, that's good enough.
Now, will you guys be tuning in tonight to watch that Part 2?
I probably won't tune in tonight, but I will do probably over a longer period, and that's because if it's anything to go by the Netflix show, that was hours upon hours, and I actually did watch the whole thing, and it's quite emotionally draining. So obviously this is on Lifetime, so it's a whole other different production, but honestly, it takes a toll.
I think the first one's on Lifetime
It's on Lifetime, and then it went up on Netflix.
Okay, I watched on Netflix.
And this made Lifetime, I mean, it got all types of viewership. It was one of the most watched Lifetime programs in the history of that channel, and they're cashing in on this. And you see them doubling down because today they've been running a marathon all day. Don't go watch until you're done watching DBL now. But but they've been, and I was at home earlier when I leave for my break, and my mom, we're sitting there watching some of it, and she's just saying, she's like, this is gross. Like, I don't believe some of it. I want to ask, she's got a lot of questions. So in that sense, she's not victim shaming or saying she doesn't believe them, but she's kind of glad that there's a part 2 coming out, because I feel as though they're going to touch on this for a lot of other people who are kind of curious on what else is going on with
this
case.
A lot of people that were in part 1 are saying, why didn't Lifetime take care of them? Because they're getting threats, from R. Kelly fans saying, why are you coming out with these lies? But they're trying to tell their story, so Lifetime is catching a little flack for this. They're making a lot of money off of that. So, I mean, I think maybe they didn't know it was going to get that much attention, or these people would get that much attention. So it's going to be interesting to see part 2. I'm sure we'll be talking about it more tomorrow. All right, guys. Real Housewives of New York star LuAnn De Lesseps has fallen off the wagon. That means she's drinking again, in case you didn't know. I was a little confused. But responsibly. After months of sobriety, LuAnn tells People magazine she allows herself a drink on occasion. This comes after the reality TV star was arrested in 2017 for being drunk and disorderly, and she also served 2 stints in rehab. Is this responsible to have that occasional drink when you're already saying you're sober? Because when I compare it to, I just do heroin once in a while. When you compare it like that, no.
I mean, you could look at it. I mean, you could say one's a drug, one's a beverage, but at the same time, they're both very addictive in content and in nature. And I just think that because she got into all that trouble back then, and she failed a sobriety test as part of her probation back in April, and for her to say, "Oh, well, I'm in the driver's seat now. I'm just gonna, toast to 2020 and what this year can bring you." We don't know what this year is going to bring us. You said you have your goals. We don't know who you're going to interview this year. We don't know the ups and downs of the shows or our everyday life. Stephanie, you said that you dealt with death on Christmas Day. We don't know what this world brings us. So you can think that you're in the driver's seat at one point where it's like, hey, look, because the court ordered me not to drink for a certain amount of time, I can control this. But all it takes is a bad show, problems at home, a death in the family, and you can go from that driver's seat to the passenger seat, and I think it's irresponsible for the people around her to allow her to drink, even if they think that she's in control of it.
I mean, it's a really tricky situation because, I mean, I touch wood, have been very lucky not to have ever been in a situation or have a very close family member. Touching a bit of wood
I'm just
on my head.
Let's go with it.
But I've never been in the position where anyone that's been within my inner circle has suffered with alcoholism. But I mean, I've seen lots of different documentaries and programs, and it seems as though it's something that's very easy to fall in and out of because it's it's part of who you are as a person, and having an addictive personality, you can't stop that or control that. If she feels as though she's in a position within herself where she can, I mean, all the best to her. And it must be very difficult for LuAnn because she is on the Real Housewives and they're always constantly drinking around her. And she did say that the other girls on the show were very considerate towards that, and they always kind of checked in with her and were very, responsible. But I mean, it just must be so hard when you're literally filming in that environment every day and you've got those problems. And she has gone to rehab twice. So I think, I don't know.
I don't know either. I feel like she could turn it around. I feel like, well, at least for me, I can't speak for her or anyone else. I'm all in or I'm all out. You know what I mean? There can't be the occasional, I'm going to do this and still think I'm serving it right. I just looked at my buddy Mike, the situation, who's all out. You know what I mean? He's all in on sobriety, and he made a name for himself, still filming Jersey Shore with that. I hope LuAnn kind of takes that on, and she could be the situation of the housewives, because everyone wants to see them get drunk on there. Why can't she be the sober one, maybe the voice of reality? Just a little advice from Big Jeff.
You can still turn up and be sober.
Yeah.
I do it every day on TV. You guys watch me all the time. I'm turned up.
All right, guys. Ricki Lake is sharing new personal photos with her fans. Check this out. She's rocking a new buzzed hairstyle, and the former talk show host reveals she's been battling hair loss for nearly 30 years. Ricki says it's been debilitating, embarrassing, and painful. She even said it caused her to feel suicidal. Now, is this something that women deal with? Because we don't talk about this a lot. I've seen commercials for this. I know this happens to women. I think we were doing a stat earlier, roughly 50% of women. So is this something that you talk about or experience?
I mean, luckily, again, touch wood, it's not happened to anyone that's, again, remotely close, but I've definitely had friends and outside of family members that have suffered hair loss with things like being pregnant. I mean, I think Sam Shocker actually said that she felt like her hair really changed when she got pregnant.
My wife, you lose hair when after you have the baby, and then it grows back,
Yeah, so I mean, it is something that does affect a lot of women. And also there's things like alopecia, pressure. And in the UK, there's a host that's very famous called Gail Porter, and she was losing huge chunks of her hair. And for a long time, she was covering that up with wigs and hair pieces. And, you know, in the end, she also did the same thing, and she had a buzz cut because she kind of got to the point where she was like, you know, I need to just be myself, and I need to just accept this in order to, like, you know, deal with the situation. And as a woman, you know, you are always told that your hair is your crowning glory, and it's like one of the first things that people notice about you when you walk in a room. And so I can only imagine how difficult it must be, because even when a gentleman, when guys get older, a lot of men's hair recedes, and like the pressure that you feel, and there's hair implants. So imagine being a woman in that situation as well.
So the booth has just told us 30 million women suffer from this. So not 50-50, but 30 million.
It's a lot.
I think it's men and female, because hair gives people power. You think of Rastafarians, how they dread their hair. That's a connection to the universe. It's a connection to God. So hair is in a way is power for people. And men are going through it too. Look, I mean, you look at LeBron James. He gets it all the time because people are like, oh, you painted in your new hairline, or you had some sort of hair restoration in your hair. It's like, if you're on that national stage and people see you, you want to look good all the time.
But even if you're not on that stage, you know, even if you're like your day-to-day life, like it's you know, it affects you.
And I think it affects men and especially women now.
As well.
But good for Ricki. Good on you, Ricki.
There you
Always
go,
liked
girl.
you. All right, guys, DBL is live, and coming up, Kim Kardashian pays a pretty penny for a piece of pop culture memorabilia. We're sharing your comments about why a lot of people are calling it tone deaf, and there's a new dating show called Flirty Dancing. Get that pun?
Yeah.
So we're playing a fun game where we have to decide real shows from fake shows. We're going to be playing that next. Play along with us. All right, so we're just finishing up the hair loss thing. I think it's good for Ricki. We run those shows during the day when we do our show, and we constantly see those shows about women's hair loss. And I don't know why it's not talked about more. If 30 million American women are suffering from this, it should be talked about more.
I think it's something now where you just look for that celebrity to stand behind it so everyone can get behind. And now we're learning about this story. I mean, you think of Selma Blair when she was going through MS.
Right.
When she shaved her head, I'm sitting there looking like, this woman's got the most courage in the world. I look at friends who've gone through chemo and, you know, their hair growing back and the way they own it in a sense. And that's what Ricki said. She was like, it's allowing her to be free, because if this is something every day, think of something you stress over every day.
Yeah.
Now imagine doing that for 30 years. It's gonna bring you to depression, or it's gonna bring you to be suicidal at times, to just want to end it. So, you know, congratulations to her. Hopefully, you know, we can rally behind this, and
I mean,
just hopefully we get to some sort of root or some sort of cause. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of it. I mean, hair loss can happen for multiple reasons, like you said. People are going through chemo, like women that when they're pregnant, you know, your hair does fall out, and it really, really thins. And that happened to one of my mum's best friends. When she got pregnant with her second child, she almost lost all her hair. And it was just
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it happens a lot to a lot of women. And Sam said, like, a lot of her hair came out, and it's just, and like Jeff just said, Jordan too. Like, your hair just is, because all of your nutrients are going to the baby, and like depending on obviously your genetic makeup, you know, it can really affect.
It would be. We'd wash our clothes.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go for it.
Sorry, guys.
So we're just playing the simple game, real or fake. Jeff will read a description of a dating show, and then you have to say real or fake. And then if it goes to tiebreaker, you have your whiteboard.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so my wife, we'd watch, we still do, but I mean, globs of hair when she like brush her hair, and in our laundry.
Well, that
just
does happen every day.
Everywhere.
On average, every human being loses 100 strands of hair a day anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. There's a new dating show that pairs people up the old-fashioned way, through dancing. Daters learn a dance completely on their own, okay? Then they dance with a potential love interest, no talking, just dancing, and they let their chemistry decide if they should go on a second date. This is a real show. It's a unique way to meet someone, but TV is full of crazy dating shows, so we're playing a game called Reality Dating Shows, Real or Fake. Pump up the music.
Yeah, that's
all right.
a bit of a
The rules are simple. I'm going to give you guys the show title and a synopsis. Then we'll have to guess if the show is real or fake, okay? Please play along at home. You guys clear on the rules?
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, but you never know. These shows are getting crazy. Let's get started.
Let's see what you got, DBL Nation.
All right, this is called The Love Chef. It pairs two food-savvy singles. The couple then has 1 hour to create a romantic meal together. The table is set, and the singles have to decide if they'd like to go on their first date or take the food to go.
I reckon that would be a really good. I think that would be a good show.
3, 2, 1, or
All right, we got to do 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
I like it.
I think that's a good concept.
We all put real?
Yeah.
All right,
I
let's see
think
what
that's a
the
good
answer
concept.
is. Fake. That was a good.
That would be a good show. Whichever one of our producers made that up, you've got
I
something
thought
in
so
that.
too.
You just like the logo.
No, I thought that was
You
a
just
good.
like the
I think that's a
logo.
pretty good show. I'd watch that.
And the logo.
Imagine like something's going on, and be like, I'm taking my food to go.
Yeah.
Ooh, right? All right, guys, up next. Based on the popular Craigslist section Missed Connections, it reconnects singles and sends them on a blind date. Watch what happens when one dater reveals their missed connection. Will they fall in love or fall flat on their face? Come on.
I'm a bit confused at that whole thing.
I've never been on Craigslist Missed Connections.
I never heard of it. 3, 2,
This is going to be the
1,
isn't it?
This one's real.
All right, let's see what the answer is. Oh,
you guys gotta
Belon.
take me out
Yeah, that
there.
was. I never even. There's a section for that.
I was gonna say
On
that just sounded
Craigslist?
so. Yeah, I was lost.
Are people still getting dates on Craigslist?
That's weird. That's weird. I've gotten an apartment there before, but never a date.
Yeah.
Pretty cool apartment.
All right, well, let's see what's up next. This is called Mama's Boy. 32 women battle for the affection of a bachelor while living with his mother. She spies on them and influences her son's opinions. I don't know. All right, let's see.
3, 2, 1.
I want it to be real, but I'm
That's
gonna
so
say
real.
fake.
This is me
It sounds
right
like
now.
a good one.
This is me right
Yeah.
now. Right now.
32 women are living with your mum. 32. You know what? My mum would probably love that, actually. She'd end up being best friends with them all, and then you'd never get rid of them.
Okay.
You can only take one, though.
Mom!
I know, but my mum would be like, no, you need this one, and what about Jack, and what about Tommy? Oh, it'd make your life hell.
Jack and Tommy.
I don't know.
No brothers in there?
Who
would you put in there?
Harisha.
Harisha. All right, you're off the show. Here's the next show. The Littlest Groom. It follows a 4'5" bachelor, Glenn Foster, as he searches for love with women of all heights, and was just pulled. And Fox aired it and was pulled after just 2 episodes. Is that what?
3, 2, 1. So real.
Come on.
Yeah, it sounds real.
That sounded real.
What?
No, I've seen a similar show, so that seemed legit.
Because they were dating with the little people who were like dating together. I'm dodging my words here, but I've seen something like this before.
But it wasn't a little person; it was just a smaller person.
No, but they were dating.
I'm getting myself in trouble here. It's the
Yeah.
first of the year. We're just going to skip on to the next one. Next up is Dating in the Dark. It features 6 men and 6 women who are only allowed to interact with a member of the opposite sex in pitch black darkness. The singles, this sounds like a lawsuit.
Yeah,
the singles have to choose who they want to go on a date based with their personality and conversation in the pitch black. All right.
You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Sounds like a great idea.
Come on, you can't have this
That's a great
happen.
idea.
That's
That
in
is
England.
real.
It's in
You have
England.
to.
There's going to be no busy hands in there?
Dating in the Dark was very popular in England for quite some time, I'll have you know.
Were there some good connections in terms of how good they looked or anything?
Well, they couldn't. You literally couldn't see anything, and you even had to watch the show through like night vision cameras.
All right.
So it was hard
I'm
to
out?
tell.
They're telling me I'm out.
You're out?
First of all, I don't like that show.
Who's winning?
It's
Who's
lawsuits in the
winning
dark.
then?
All right, here, we got a tiebreaker
Tie.
question.
Oh,
Get your markers, I'm out.
Yes, this is where the pressure hits
It's
Stephanie.
1 out of 100. This is a tiebreaker question. What score does Flirty Dancing have on IM?
1 out of 100?
It's out of 100.
1 out of 100, yes. What score does Flirty Dancing have on IMDb?
Ooh, Stephanie, the pressure's on.
Hurry up, ready?
I'm ready.
Flip them. Go for
Oh,
it.
wait.
83%.
83, 51.
51%.
Who? Stephanie wins. There you go, Steph.
First thing of the year. Look at that.
All right.
Never happened. Still say
Answer was 60%. You're hoping it's going to be good, huh?
It looks like a good one. You see the way they was doing the lambada, and they were like, oh.
All right, we'll be right back.
Finding dinner.
New information now in the 2020 presidential race. Julian Castro just ended his campaign for president. Now, he broke the news on Twitter just hours ago, saying he's going to keep fighting for an America where everyone counts. DBL Nation, is there anyone in the race that you're liking for president in 2020? Let me know using the hashtag dbltake. And in today's entertainment news, Bobby Christina Brown's ex-fiance Nick Gordon has passed away. Now, reports say he died of an overdose on New Year's Day. You might remember Gordon was held legally responsible for the death of Whitney Houston's daughter back in 2015 when she was found dead in a bathtub. Nick Gordon was 30 years old. This has been Fast Blast for you. I'll keep you updated on these stories and any other breaking news that comes in on our digital breaks throughout the day. Bye now.
If 2020 feels longer than 2019, there's a legit reason for that. It's a leap year. Why do we add a day every 4 years? Let's connect the dots. We know a calendar year as 365 days, but it's technically 365.2422 days, precisely how long it takes for the Earth to orbit the Sun. We add a 366th day every 4 years to keep things on track. If we didn't, the start of our seasons would eventually be completely out of whack. It's called intercalation. The day gets tacked on to the end of our shortest month, February, a leap day. But why do we call it that? It's actually up for debate, considering we've been using this calendar for nearly 450 years. But it may be because each date on the calendar leaps ahead 2 days instead of 1. For example, Christmas fell on a Wednesday this year. Typically, it would be on Thursday next year, but not in 2020 when it leaps ahead to Friday. So you can thank Earth's orbital path for your extra long weekend. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Let's get right to it, guys. Kim Kardashian is getting slammed for her daughter Northwest's controversial Christmas gift. Kim spent thousands on this Michael Jackson jacket. Jackson wore this to Elizabeth Taylor's 65th birthday party in 1997, but that's not all. Kim also bought his hat from Smooth Criminal, the Smooth Criminal video, and it still has makeup on it. Wow. So considering Michael Jackson's tarnished legacy, was this gift in poor taste or a great idea?
All right, let's get to it. Julia from Facebook says, in 10 years, that jacket will be worth millions. It's a good business move. Yes, I think of it as like a Picasso or something like that because it's going to appreciate. Michael Jackson's legacy is only going to get bigger. Yes, it has a stain on it. It's tarnished. I get it. But in terms of the music and how much of a cultural icon he was, like this woman says, in 10 years, it's going to be worth millions.
All right.
Well, Tim's written on Twitter. He says, why would you give a child a jacket of a supposed child molester and then post it? Very insensitive. Well, in this particular scenario, I don't think that little North, because she's only about 7 or 8, will know about the backstory of Michael Jackson and what is or isn't true. I don't think she'll know that. I think she'll just see him as a great performer. And Kim actually is a very big collector of many celebrity items, in particular Elizabeth Taylor. She's got a lot of her jewelry. Yeah. So, I mean, do I think it's appropriate? This is a very touchy subject. You know, I agree with Brandon. It's only going to go up in value. But also, if those accusations are real, it's tricky.
Yeah. I don't know. We're out of time, so you won't hear my opinion. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. Now, I'm your boy Jeray Banks, and I'm here to guide you through everything that you need to slay your life with all things beauty. Now, today, we're gonna talk a little about something called nails, hunty. Yes, the nail trends have been killing it in 2019, so far as we've even got some players that you wouldn't normally expect slaying the game this year. Now, one trend that's taking over Instagram by storm is the Skittles nail polish trend. Yes, my friend, I said Skittles and not the one you ate. We are not getting into 3D nail art just yet. Now, for this look, all you're going to need is 5 different colors and 5 fingers. You can use different fingers too. If you want to use 3 fingers, you'd be alright. However, all this trend is utilizing different colors on each nail for a fun, flirty look. Now, you can use bright colors, bold colors, opaque, whatever your heart feels or desires for that day. It's going to be very fashion forward. Now, the only bad part to this is if you chip a nail, honey, you better be prepared to have all 5 of those nail polishes in your purse because you're gonna be kind of SOL if it's your pinky color and you only have your ring finger with you on deck, okay? Now, with that being said, everyone's doing this and it looks super fun. I even wanna get in on this nail trend with my girl Melly at Mainstream Nails. What's up, sis? I'm about to see you next week. But even Harry Styles has been getting in on this. Recently, he actually hosted SNL and he killed it with this beautiful Skittles nail trend. His nails truly stole the show in every scene. Now, he even matched up his nails from sparkly sequin jumpsuits to a full-on all-red suit that just simply slayed. Now, the former One Direction singer has been seen using the Skittles nail trend earlier this year. If you might remember, he killed it at Met Gala 2019 with the Skittle nail, but this time at SNL, he really just stepped it up with that boldness a little bit more, and we are a fan hunty. Now, for more Beauty Blast videos or more beauty knowledge in general, make sure you're watching Daily Blast Live or Beauty Blast videos right here, or follow me at Jeray for the Slay for more beauty talk. We'll see you guys next time.
As the college application season kicks into high gear, schools are reporting a problem with this latest round of applicants. They aren't checking their email. Let's connect the dots. During the college application process, schools often send potential students a lot of important information via email. But this generation has come of age during the era of text messages, and some seem to find checking email too time-consuming. That means some applicants are missing important information about deadlines, scholarships, and more. And as anyone with a desk job knows, it's not like this email obligation will go away after college. So now high schools are having to teach kids not only how to use email, but how to keep up with it. It also gives them a chance to show the students how to write a professional email. A reminder that technology does always make things easier. Connecting the dots, I'm Janelle Baluta for H-Town Rush.
Welcome back to DBL. Brandon, you're supposed to read comments, but Steph won the game.
So go ahead,
all
Steph.
over.
Go ahead. Don't mess up, Steph.
I'm back. Okay, so we've had a comment saying, Happy New Year, Jeff, Steph, and Brandon. Missed you guys. We wish you all the best for 2020. I'm glad you missed us.
She did a good job, Brandon.
Yes, she did. Let's do it big this year, y'all.
Let's do it big. All right, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow.